Hello everybody and welcome back to A Royal Reader. My name is Snidra and today I'm going to be doing my December TBR. I have my Grinch shirt on. I am not a Grinch. I am actually really excited for Christmas and I'm excited for all the books that I'm going to be reading. So let's get into it. The first book that I'm going to be reading for December is going to be Days of Blood and Starlight. This is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I am reading this for the Daughter of Smoke and Bone along, and in the month of December this is obviously the second book that they'll be reading and I am super excited about this. Daughter of Smoke and Bone follows our main character Kaoru, who is sort of an errand girl for a bunch of demons, and in Daughter of Smoke and Bone there is a bunch of angels who are closing off the portals that allow people to travel from obviously the real world into the demon world, and in doing so it cuts off Kaoru from her demon family. And she then tries to find out why, and there is a bit of a cat and mouse chase between her and one of the angels, and it is just a crazy wild ride. So I am interested to see where this book goes because the last 100 pages of Daughter of Smoke and Bone was a little bit crazy. So yeah, I am intrigued. So the next book on my list is obviously going to be Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow. This is the second book in the Morrigan Crow series by Jessica Townsend. I read the first book last month and I really enjoyed it. This is a middle grade that follows our main character Morrigan Crow, who on the eve of her 11th birthday gets whisked away by a man called Jupiter North to the land of Nevermore, where she is instructed to sort of join the Wondrous Society, and in doing so she has to complete a bunch of trials. This was crazy. I am so intrigued to see where this is going. Even though this is a middle grade, it does not feel like one. Yes, the characters are young, but it doesn't feel like it because this book is not dumbed down whatsoever. It is quite serious and quite scary at times, so I'm excited to see where this book goes. Next on my list is actually one that I decided to pick up on a whim, and that is going to be The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This is a reread for me. I really love this series. This is one of my favorite series of all time, apart from like Sarah J Maas's series. I love it so much. So in this book we have our main character Megan, who feels like she's not really meant to be in the world that she lives in. She doesn't feel like she belongs. And one day she discovers that her brother has gone missing, and in doing so she also discovers that she's actually the princess of some Fae king, and seems like the Fae has taken her brother, so she has to go on a quest to try and find and rescue her brother, and in doing so she gets to have the ever so lovely Winter Prince who escorts her along the way, and it is just insane and I love it. This is such a unique Fae series that if you haven't read it, I definitely suggest you pick it up. I don't think it has anything to do with like mates and stuff like that, so if you didn't really like that aspect of most of the Fae series that are out here as of now, I would definitely suggest you pick this up. Next is a book that I just bought recently, and that is going to be The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This, I believe, as you can see from the front, these sorority girls are real witches, so that's pretty much all I know about it, and that's all I really want to know about it, if that makes sense. I know that there is two main characters. One girl knows that she is a witch and the other girl sort of doesn't realize she is a witch, and that's pretty much length of what I know from this book. I've heard a lot of people talk about this recently on BookTube, and when I saw it on sale at the bookstore I just had to get it, and yeah, so that's going to be the next book on my list. I'm hoping that this book does not let me down because unfortunately the last couple of witchy books that I've read have not done it for me, so yeah. The next book is one that I am really excited to read, and I'm hoping it goes well because it'll be my first sort of dip into the genre, and that is going to be If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is a dark academia book following a bunch of Shakespeare students who somehow one of them ends up getting killed and one of them ends up getting blamed for it, and in this we start off the story with the detective who dealt with this case, you know, in the past. He is now retiring, and the person who was convicted for the crime has just been released, and he meets up with this detective who wants to know what actually happened because, you know, he's not going to be a detective anymore, he's retiring, and so he wants to know what happened. And then we obviously flash back and find out what happened. So I'm really interested in reading this. I love Shakespeare. I am very much a Shakespeare nerd. I have definitely acted in a couple of Shakespeare plays. I have even played Juliet myself in a sci-fi version of Romeo and Juliet. It was a bit weird, but it was also very cool at the same time. So yes, I hope that this book is what I want, if that makes sense. So yeah, this will be my first dark academia read, and I am excited. And the last two books on my TBR for this month are ones that I did not know that I actually had. And you can see me throwing around my Kindle here, and that's because I do actually have them on my Kindle. So the ones that I'm talking about is going to be Fortuna, Swan and Restless, Slumber. These are both the first and second book in the Fortuna Swan series by KJ Sutton. I did not know that I had purchased these books back in April. April! I could have been reading these books already. I don't know why I forgot about this because I was so excited to read these books, but obviously your girl is stupid and forgot that she even owned them. So I am in fact going to be reading both of these this month because I can't believe I forgot that I had them. I don't know. Ugh. But anyway, Fortuna Swan is about our main character Fortuna, who is in fact a nightmare, which is a person who can inflict a person's worst nightmare on them. They are able to make you, see, if you're afraid of spiders, they make you see that you have spiders all over your body and things like that. Fortuna has been looking for her brother for the last 2 years since he has gone missing, and on the eve of his disappearance, she gets kidnapped by a bunch of goblins to be sold onto the black market, and a fairy helps her escape. And he ends up tracking her down again after she escapes and says, "Look, I know where your brother is, but in order for me to tell you, you have to do one thing for me." She's like, "Yeah, okay, what?" "You have to marry me," he says. So that's basically all I know about this book, and I don't really want to know too much more. I do know that this is a dark, sexy fae romance. I know that Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, that is a mouthful to say, and Becca from Becca and Her Books absolutely love this series, and they recently just held a live show with the author for the release of the third book, and I could have watched it, but your girl didn't know she had these books. So both of these lovely ladies do really enjoy this book, and I think I have quite similar taste to them, and so I decided that I'm going to read them, so yeah. So these are all the books that I plan on reading for the month of December. I may include more on there, I don't know yet, depending on how much I actually end up reading. I read quite a few books last month that I was not expecting, so I'm hoping that momentum sort of carries on in December. Those are all the books that I plan on reading. If you guys have read any of these, please leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to chat to you about them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought of it. If you'd like to see more of my thoughts and stuff on these books, then please be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and as well as Goodreads. Links are always down in the description box below. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. That would really help me out. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good Christmas or holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video later on.